His family wasn't there. His wife wasn't there. Nobody was there. He was in Victory Circle all by himself wearing a cowboy hat with 6 shooters.
Oh, they're all stacked up, gunning for Kevin Harvick. Here comes Edwards. And right behind him is Hornish and Allmendinger. They were almost 4 wide going into turn 1. And Hornish's car washes up. The Dinger grabs the spot.
This is when you quit playing nice now. You know, you got to take no prisoners. You got to go, man.
See Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 car right behind this group. A couple of cautions ago, he was about on the verge of going a lap down. He's clawed his way back up into the top 15, 14th right now.
Which compared to what that car has looked like, 22nd, 24th all night long, that's a pretty nice turnaround for him as well.
They were good on the first run, Darrell, and they haven't been this good since until this run.
I just believe they got confused with that splitter problem, and maybe they've gotten it back.
I'm surprised Harvick has been able to hold on to 10th place because everybody's taken a run and a shot at him in that pack.
He has his hands full, but he's fast enough. It's just hard to get by him when you catch him.
As of right now, here's a look at the top 12. And you don't see Kurt Busch, who would drop 7 spots, or Paul Menard, who would drop 4. And both would fall out of the top dozen.
Yeah, and the newcomers to the top 12 would be Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, and Carl Edwards. Speaking of Carl Edwards, he finally gets by Kevin Harvick in that 29 car. That moves him into the top 10.
Harv gave him a little shot.
Didn't like that. He's going to like this even less. Boy, the 43 almost got into the back of Harvick right there in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, the old Dinger has fought his way back in here too. He's doing some serious closing here at the end of the night.
Well, the last lap, Darrell, he was the 3rd fastest car, slower than Boyer and Montoya that lap, but quicker than anybody else.
Got a good looking car.
"36 laps to go. Who's going to win the Subway Fresh Fit 600 on Fox?"
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
9 laps to go. Here's your Subway race summary. Kyle Busch has led 86 laps. If he leads all the rest, he might lead the most laps tonight. We've had 12 different leaders, 1 shy of the record. Still 25 cars on the lead lap. The last of those, Scott Riggs. And we've had 8 caution flags tonight.
Those 2 cars, that's 18 and 48, they kind of trade fast laps. One time Kyle will be a little quicker. Next time Jimmie will be a little quicker. But so far, hadn't been able to close the deal here.
It's amazing. It's the tale of 2 tapes. Last night in the nationwide race, Kyle Busch had to have a caution late in the race to get in position to win. The last thing he wants to see right now with the laps he's running versus the competitors is a caution. He does not want to see one tonight.
I agree with you, Larry, but unless he had a screwed up restart, I don't think you're going to beat him tonight. That car is bad fast.
Krista?
You know, this car is still not where Jimmie Johnson needs it. In fact, they were even talking what they would do to make it better if they needed to come in and pit again. He's having trouble on the throttle right now. They're saying this is not a winning race car. Chad says just go after him.
That's what I love about a crew chief. You know, you're riding in 2nd place and the car's not very good, and the crew chief says, go after him, get him.
He's quicker by not quite a 1/10 of a second. Jimmie is quicker than Kyle Busch, the race leader, but
Good job, bud.
Jeff Gordon is faster than both of them. Coming out of 3rd place, Gordon is 4 seconds back.
Well, I just know that 48 car, historically, it just keeps getting better and better and better into a run. So we'll see how that works out tonight.
Let's check speeds at the line.
You can see that it's not much, 47 to a 38, but there is a little bit of speed difference.
And that equates to Jimmie Johnson ran a 29.16. Kyle Busch ran a 29.18.
That's what you call nipping away at it.
But you know, when you think about it, when you look at our top two guys right now, that's the two drivers that's won the most races in the last 2 seasons. But even though Kyle Busch won 12 races combined 2008, 2009, it's been a long dry spell. August, Bristol of last year.
Well, this is the best I've seen the 18 car. Dave Rogers and Kyle Busch working together. This is by far and away the best performance I think I've seen out of this car. You know, Larry, he could have run second at Martinsville last week.
You know, the only performance, you know, that's been equal to this was the first race they worked together at Texas in the fall, and they ended up having to pit for fuel late in the race.
Two drivers dropping back just outside the top 10. Kevin Harvick back to 12th, Marcus Ambrose to 14. Two drivers moving up, A.J. Allmendinger to 11th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. up to 13th. Otherwise, not much movement within the top 10. With 23 laps to go, there's the gap, 1.7 seconds. And there's Gordon, 3.7 off the lead. Boyer and Montoya, 5 seconds back. Newman, Logano, Kenseth, Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, your top 10.
Our pole sitter, A.J. Allmendinger, just outside the top 10 in that 43 car right now in 11th.
He's been passing a lot of cars to get there, and like I said, he's done a really nice job. This you gotta be, if he can get a top 10, set on pole and get a top 10,
that'd be a great night.
That's a big boost going into Texas next week.
How do you think our rear spoiler has fared now through 2 races, the short track, Martinsville, and now here on the 1 mile in Phoenix?
Well, I know how hard NASCAR worked to match the numbers, the wing to the spoiler, and I think that the teams were well aware of those numbers. They've got the balance pretty much like it was. I think it's tit for tat. You know, I think you could probably stop these cars, take the spoiler off, stick the wing back on it. Probably wouldn't know a whole lot of difference.
Now next week we go to Texas, one of the fastest tracks. Are we going to start hearing the dreaded words aero push?
Well, I think that's the unknown. I think that's what everyone is anticipating. We had the big test at Charlotte Motor Speedway a couple of weeks ago, and of course right after Texas then we go to a restrictor plate track with the spoiler at Talladega Super Speedway. So next 2 weeks I think we'll give a lot more answers about this rear spoiler.
4th place, Clint Boyer trying to hold it. Juan Pablo Montoya has led 104 laps tonight, trying to climb back up to 4th. How about Boyer, Steve?
Mike, he just said it's gotten really tight all of a sudden. His spotter Mike Dillon said use more brakes and charge the corners.
Well, we've got less than 20 laps to go, and I just don't know about Dillon's advice sometimes.
Use more brakes and charge.
That's his spotter, Mike Dillon.
You got to know Dillon to love that, man.
Mike's a former driver.
That's what he would do.
Well, that's kind of why he's a former driver.
Right.
There you go, nice and smooth.
That's him right there. He's full of good news.
Kyle Busch has led twice as many laps tonight as he has led so far in this entire season coming into Phoenix.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Only one top 10 finish this year. Came in here outside the top 12 in points.
Why do those guys watch me drive by them and like try to come get me?
Because you're Kyle Busch.
Toyota has never gone to victory lane at Phoenix since we started racing here. In 1988, they weren't part of the series then, but they're still looking for their first victory here in the desert.
And his teammate right now, Joey Logano, well inside the top 10, back in 7th position in that 20 car. Joey started 6th. He's pretty much been in the top 10 most of the night.
Tell you, if it stays like this, so Jeff Gordon, if he doesn't run out of laps, looked to me like he was closing on the 48 car a little bit for 2nd place.
He was, Darrell. He and Jimmie right now are just 0.2 quicker than Kyle Busch. Not sure if that's because of traffic for the race leader.
He has a lot of traffic out in front of him with 15 laps to go, talking about Kyle Busch.
So far what I've seen for Kyle is most everybody, just like you're going to see the 83 here, just move up out of the way and give him room because they know he's a leader and they know he's fast.
Well, the good thing